95% of the world's watches are manufactured in this location, including the one you are currently wearing. Numerous prestigious watch brands either produce their timepieces or source components from this area. This city is Shenzhen, recognized as the global capital of watchmaking. But where do these luxury watches truly originate? Are those $20,000 Rolexes that adorn people's wrists genuinely handcrafted masterpieces from Switzerland? Or did they emerge from a production line in China alongside thousands of identical models? You might spend $4,400 on a Mitsuda Black Bay monochrome, nearly $10,000 for a Rolex Submariner, and around $36,000 for a Royal Oak Extra Thin. The term cheap certainly does not apply here. The distinction between genuine and imitation is often blurred. However, upon visiting Guangzhou, one might not immediately perceive any issues based solely on appearances. It is crucial to be cautious, as low-quality movements may be sold at exorbitant prices. I recommend testing the product first or purchasing through legitimate channels. My name is Sean, and I look forward to our next discussion. The current revelations from Chinese manufacturers regarding the luxury watch industry are astonishing. What were once mere whispers have now transformed into open admissions. Social media platforms like TikTok are inundated with unboxing videos, and factories in Shenzhen are no longer maintaining a low profile. The information they are revealing is quite shocking. The Swiss watch industry cannot easily dismiss these developments. Too much has been exposed. The situation is chaotic, noisy, and frankly, quite embarrassing. The intensity of these revelations prompted Rolex to publicly announce significant price reductions on some of their most coveted models, leaving many in disbelief. Before we delve into the intricate details, loopholes, and controversies, let us take a moment to revisit the true epicenter of this turmoil. The actual watch capital of the world, which, spoiler alert, is not Switzerland. Consider this: you likely grew up believing that the finest watches originate from Switzerland. However, it is essential not to overlook the factory in Shenzhen. Inquire, and you shall receive answers. Tissa, where can one find the watch manufacturers? After conducting some research, I have identified the watch manufacturers. A new controversy is emerging from the luxury watch sector. If you prefer to continue purchasing Rolex or AP watches, feel free to do so. Nevertheless, industry insiders are beginning to speak out, and I possess their recordings. Some individuals have even lost their jobs for revealing the truth behind the picturesque image of skilled artisans in snowy mountains meticulously crafting each Rolex by hand. While this may seem charming, it is more of a fairy tale than reality. Let us discuss the facts. Welcome to Shenzhen, China, the true epicenter of watch production globally. It is no exaggeration to state that over 95% of all watches worldwide are manufactured in China, with a significant portion produced in Shenzhen alone. In fact, many Swiss watches are actually made in China. The reason replicas often appear nearly identical to the originals is that they are produced in the same factories. These facilities offer a broader selection of styles, adhere to rigorous production standards, and can accommodate custom orders starting from just 50 pieces. The primary concern regarding these products lies with the intermediaries. You reach out to them directly. This is not merely about counterfeit replicas. We are discussing premium materials, high-quality dials, refined bracelets, sapphire glass, ceramic bezels, and more. These components are authentic, produced in large quantities that Switzerland cannot match. The situation becomes even more intriguing as some factories in Shenzhen are reportedly manufacturing items for renowned brands such as Omega, Tag Heuer, Tissot, and possibly even the actual Rolex supply chain. These are not the obvious counterfeit Raleighs found at flea markets. We are not referring to $30 imitations. These timepieces are constructed with genuine parts, allegedly sourced from the same factories that supply the major brands. The only element absent is the official Swiss endorsement. Interestingly, some of these factories are no longer concealing their operations. They are now openly showcasing their products and even accepting custom orders directly from consumers. This means you can bypass the upscale boutiques and go directly to the source for your luxury watch. Watches vary in size. A smaller dial can create a more delicate appearance on your wrist, while a larger one can convey a more robust presence. Initially, it is essential to establish your budget. The Rolex dated dress is an excellent option for those seeking value. However, this raises an important question. If your luxury watch is primarily assembled in China, why does it bear the Swiss-made label? Allow me to clarify. This label represents one of the most clever loopholes in fashion history. That charming Swiss-made stamp located at the bottom of the dial? It signifies elite taste, sophistication, and a connection to traditional wealth. The term Swissade does not imply what many assume. Contrary to the narrative promoted by luxury brands, it does not signify that the entire watch was manufactured in a quaint Swiss chalet. In fact, Swiss law stipulates that only 60% of the watch's value must originate from Switzerland to qualify for this designation. It is essential to note that this refers to value, not the physical product itself. What constitutes value? Elements such as branding, marketing, research, and even the simple act of placing the movement into the case upon its arrival in Geneva. To illustrate, consider a factory in Shenzhen that produces the Omega case, bracelet, and dial, nearly completing the watch before shipping it out. Subsequently, an individual in Switzerland installs the movement, polishes it slightly, and voila, it is now officially labeled as Swissade. Consequently, you may find yourself spending $6,000 on a product primarily manufactured in China, merely rebranded with a Swiss label and a touch of luxury. This phenomenon is attributed to clever marketing strategies and a few sophisticated finishing touches. It is important to clarify that this is not a recent revelation. The luxury industry has been engaging in this practice for years. What began as murmurs on Reddit has now proliferated on platforms like TikTok, culminating in a series of insider exposés akin to a true crime narrative. A former employee recounted his experience at a prominent Swiss watch manufacturer, stating that he was dismissed for posing too many inquiries. He plans to visit Fire Herald, citing that the watch in question is counterfeit. When asked what makes it fake, he explained that the serial number does not match. While restoring vintage watches from the 1970s, he discovered that numerous components had originated from Asia during that era. He even provided photographs of bracelets, hands, and dials, all sourced from China. The movement was sometimes Swiss, but on other occasions, it was merely an inexpensive $5 quartz mechanism hastily included. This scandal runs much deeper than many realize. You may wonder why mainstream media has not exposed this issue. The answer is simple: the luxury watch industry is immensely profitable. Major publications receive substantial advertising revenue from brands like Rolex, Omega, and Cartier. It is unlikely they would jeopardize their financial support. The situation is even more dire with watch bloggers, who are often flown to Basel World and treated like VIPs at brand events, receiving complimentary watches. Influencers are compensated to present a positive image, avoiding any risk to their next free Rolex by revealing the truth. Consequently, it falls to the underdogs, YouTubers like Misty, TikTok creators, and even anonymous factory workers who are no longer willing to remain silent, to unveil the reality behind the facade of luxury. Just when it seemed that Rolex was invulnerable, they unexpectedly reduced their prices. Not universally, but sufficiently to prompt speculation among consumers. Reports from watch forums and high-end dealers indicate that specific Rolex models, such as the Submariner, GMT Master II, and certain Oyster Perpetuals, have seen price reductions of up to 20% in select markets. Interestingly, these are the very models that have gained significant traction in the replica market. Is it merely a coincidence? Hardly. It is important to clarify that Rolex did not promote this through any extravagant marketing campaign. Rolex has a long-standing policy against sales. They executed this strategy discreetly, as is their custom. The price reductions were implemented quietly, primarily by authorized dealers in select locations. However, the watch community noticed immediately, particularly following the viral Chinese exposé revealing Rolex-style cases and bezels being packaged and shipped in large quantities from a warehouse in Longgang. It is worth noting that brands do not typically reduce prices without reason, especially not Rolex, a brand that thrives on hype, exclusivity, and the allure of rarity. For those looking to expand their collection, here are the 5 most affordable Rolex watches currently available. The first is the 36mm Datejust Model 16220, featuring an engine-turn bezel, valued at approximately $6,500. The second is the 36mm Datejust Model 1614, which boasts a blue dial and a fluted bezel, priced around $6,200. The timing of these discrete price adjustments coinciding with their supply chain issues has left luxury enthusiasts anxious, as the entire allure of high fashion relies on an air of mystery, creating a desire for the unattainable. However, this illusion has been shattered. Consumers are bypassing intermediaries entirely, engaging in private Telegram chats, WeChat groups, and exclusive WhatsApp circles. Factories are now selling directly, even offering custom luxury creations at a fraction of retail prices. They no longer refer to them as replicas. The industry has progressed. Now, they are labeled as factory-produced, B-grade tributes, released in the same line, parallel builds, or unbranded OEMs, which stands for Original Equipment Manufacturers. In essence, we produced it, but we cannot legally claim it was made for Rolex. It resembles DH-Gate products, albeit in a more refined manner. Furthermore, a whistleblower has alleged that certain Chinese suppliers utilized leftover materials from authentic Rolex production runs. Instead of discarding these surplus materials, they complete the manufacturing process and sell the products discreetly. These items are not mere counterfeit goods. They are essentially authentic, lacking only the final endorsement from Rolex. Now, shifting focus to financial aspects, luxury watches, particularly those from major conglomerates like Swatch Group, Richemont, and LVMH, typically yield profit margins ranging from 10% to 20%. While this is a significant amount, it pales in comparison to the substantial profits seen in the technology and pharmaceutical sectors. For instance, Apple boasts a 32% margin, Microsoft achieves a 38% margin, and Novo Nordisk, the firm behind Ompic, reaches 39%. Consequently, that $15,000 Rolex may not appear as extravagant as it once did. However, do not rush to sympathize with Rolex just yet. They continue to thrive financially. Additionally, the size of the watch dial can influence the appearance of your wrist, with smaller dials creating a slimmer look and larger ones projecting a more robust image. Initially, it is crucial to establish your budget. The Rolex Datejust is an excellent option for those seeking cost-effectiveness, while more sophisticated choices include the Oyster Perpetual and Professional models. This alone should suffice to illustrate why one should refrain from wearing a counterfeit. Authenticity fosters self-confidence. Donning a fake diminishes that assurance. When you enter a space filled with watch enthusiasts, those wearing genuine pieces will quickly discern the counterfeit. The light reflecting off a fake will betray its true nature, impacting your confidence. However, a common inquiry arises for those who delve into this topic. Are luxury watches genuinely overpriced? The answer is nuanced. If you approach this with the expectation of acquiring pure craftsmanship, innovation, and heritage, you may find yourself disillusioned. Not every luxury watch lives up to its engineering reputation. Some brands merely assemble pre-manufactured components, affix a prestigious label, inflate the price, and conclude their work. They rely on their established reputation rather than true innovation. While some timepieces are genuinely crafted as works of art, others merely capitalize on a renowned brand. This is the nature of the industry. However, once you comprehend the true value of your investment, your perspective shifts significantly. You are not merely acquiring metal and glass, you are gaining access, status, and a subtle form of prestige. The moment you enter a space and draw attention solely due to the watch adorning your wrist is an invaluable experience for many. Is the price excessive? From a technical standpoint, yes. Yet, emotionally, that is subjective. Once you uncover the realities behind the pricing, the production processes, the profit margins, and the promotional strategies, you gain true agency. You determine whether the excitement surrounding the product is justified. The influence does not